And the next voice you hear after this little bit of music will be that of SOTU. Thank you, Josh. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. We are SOTU, and we are here to annoy you. We are here to, what shall we say, afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. That's such a good saying. Okay, so here you are in the midst of it. You ran through the briars and you ran through the brambles and you ran through the bushes where the rabbits couldn't go. And here you are in the middle of the thicket with brambles all around you and all scratched up and wondering which way you're going to go. And the only way to go is one direction or the other. You're either going to go to the dynamic of success or you are going to go to the dynamic of failure. There are two worlds. There are two realities available to you all. Oh, yeah, in the dynamic of your individual incarnations, each of you has a myriad of destinies and a myriad of choices to make and a myriad. But even with the myriad of choices that you have to make, generally speaking, you follow the path that you have chosen in between incarnations. And that is what is occurring right now. One of the things that we would like to tell you is that you have all, those of you that are conscious and aware, just awake, not asleep, awake. And we don't mean consciously, we don't mean in the sense of consciousness, we mean physically. You're either physically awake or physically sleeping. But in that dynamic, awake or asleep, it doesn't matter. You all chose to be here at this very crucial time in human transformation. We're going to repeat something that we have said many times, that up until this point, you have been operating under a belief, a dynamic that has to do with a kind of Darwinian sort of evolution, a dynamic of survival of the fittest that you have used to model almost all of your social structures, et cetera, et cetera. And because of that dynamic, that has led to the lack of subtlety and the lack of ability to, what shall we say, have finesse and to understand that you are creating a reality that requires your attention and requires your awareness. So many of you wish to have this reality handed to you on a silver platter without you having to take any personal responsibility at all, and yet we would suggest to you that each of you that we have spoken to over the past few months, each of you that we have spoken to over the past 30 years have been on a personal dynamic, a personal path of enlightenment, a personal path of growth. And not all of you will achieve it in this particular lifetime, but we would say to you that you are all going to eventually achieve that dynamic, and the question ultimately is, what is your adventure? And so on a personal level, you have the dynamics of your personal adventure, but on the consensus level, on the collective level, you have also chose to incarnate at this very crucial time in human evolution, where you are going to move beyond the dynamic of evolution into a more conscious dynamic of transformation. And if you look at what's going on in your world right now, wouldn't you say that that is what is being offered to you? The old does not work any longer, and so now you need to create something better, something new. That does not mean that you want to necessarily throw out the baby with the bathwater, and you certainly do not wish to use the older forms, the old forms that are being offered to you right now. You know, communism or democracy, communism or freedom, communism or whatever you want to call it. You know, some people will say that you live in a capitalistic world, but you don't. You live in a free market, crony capitalism oligarchy here in the United States that is primarily run by very wealthy people and the corporations who are usually often one in the same, and ably assisted by your political class. And so then there's all the rest of you who are out here seemingly flopping around in the breeze like a bunch of fish out of water because you have relied so heavily on the dynamics of your government and your, what shall we say, your structures. And the problem is that your structures haven't taught you to be free thinkers. Your structures haven't taught you to be adaptive. Your structures have not taught you to be able to think on your feet. And so, but that is all a dynamic of an innate ability that earthly humanity has. You are a very clever species. You are a very adaptable species. It is time that you begin to utilize your cleverness. It's time for you to begin to utilize your adaptability. It is time for you to begin to think like adults rather than like adolescents. Adolescents think in black or white, either or, you know. They must win it all. Or, what, give it all up? It's all black, it's all white, it's all this, it's all that. But in fact, what it is an adolescent viewpoint of looking at things.